Hey all you Nintendo Switch fans, it's me, Trick Wallace. I'm back with another great eShop deals video. I've got well over 25 great eShop games I think you should seriously consider adding to your collection. If at any point you feel like you're getting value out of this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into these deals. First of all, we have Black Future 88. It is 90% off. That is only $1.99. By far its lowest price ever. This game actually didn't go on sale for quite a long time. It just recently went on sale for about $5 in December, and it's back now with this rock bottom low price. Obviously, it's never going to go cheaper than this. This is like a synth 2D action platformer roguelike. I haven't personally gotten to try this one out yet, but the reviews are really solid. I'm always a sucker to try out any new roguelikes, and I absolutely love the visual style on this one. Definitely seemed like it's been a hit with the fans of it. The user scores are really solid for it. Chefy Chef is $1.99, 60% off. That is its new lowest price ever, rock bottom sale. This game is normally only $5 anyways, and it's by far one of my favorite budget titles on the Switch. I've gotten quite a good number of hours out of this, and I really enjoy it. Simplest way to describe this, it's a basic sort of action platformer. It goes level by level, but what's really unique is that every single level is like its own self-contained little Metroidvania. Now, there are 3 items that the chef has to acquire in every level: a knife, a pan, and a fork, and all of these items will allow him to get through each level. But of course, in every level, he starts without them. So again, it just feels like little bite-sized Metroidvanias, and I just absolutely love that aspect of it. Max, the Curse of Brotherhood is back on sale again, 80% off for only $2.99. I felt like I should tell you about this one again because this is another game that went a really long time without a sale. It's gotten 2 sales recently, so maybe it's just going to be a frequent thing now, but just in case, I thought I would mention it again. This is a really cool cinematic platformer where you are trying to hunt down your brother who's been stolen into this fantasy world. The sort of gimmick or hook with the game, though, is that Max has this magic marker that can manipulate the levels, so there's different puzzle elements that you're going to be solving with that. But really cool little cinematic platformer, definitely for people who like things like Limbo or Inside, but I think this is a little more lighthearted, so not quite so dark, but if you like that style of gameplay, you would definitely enjoy Max. Freedom Finger is on sale for $2.99. That is 63%, almost by far its lowest price ever. If you're a fan of shoot-'em-ups and really crass humor, you would definitely get a kick out of this. As you can obviously see, I believe from the trailer, your ship is in the shape of a middle finger. But it goes beyond that. The fact that your ship is actually a hand comes into play. So the way you sort of take the abilities of other ships, you actually straight up grab them and just hold them like a gun in your ship's hand gun thing. It's a bit confusing, but if you enjoy something that's lighthearted but also has a really sort of sharp 90s kind of punk humor to it, you would definitely enjoy Freedom Finger. Glyph is back on sale again. Not its lowest price ever, it's $4.99, but I just thought I would like to mention it again. It's one of my favorite Switch games. This is basically a sort of a 3D precision platformer where you play as this rolling ball. Kind of looks like the morph ball from Metroid Prime, but the gimmick here is that you can also turn into a bug, which is how you will navigate different areas when you need to glide. So you're going to be switching back and forth between forms, making your way through all these really tough as nails platformers. Retro City Rampage DX back on sale, matching its previous low, 60% off for only $5.99. If you love GTA and you love classic NES 8-bit style games, you would absolutely love Retro City Rampage. It mashes those two together quite beautifully. It's a very well-reviewed game from both the users and the critics. What else can I say? I think if you like both of those type of genres of games, you're just going to be having a great time with Retro City Rampage. Wargroove is at by far its lowest price ever, 70% off for $5.99. I can't help but think that Wargroove is having this super low price because they know Advance Wars is right around the corner, and that is basically what Wargroove is. It is Advance Wars, more of a sort of a fantasy sort of Knights in Armor kind of version of Advance Wars, but it's Advance Wars nonetheless. And if you love Advance Wars and you just want more of that, it's an absolute necessity to pick this game up at some point. They've also supported the game with a free expansion called Double Trouble. You can pick up the pack of the game where it automatically comes with it, but it's free anyway, so it doesn't really matter which version you buy on the eShop, you can always still download that DLC for free. You Snail is at its lowest price ever, 60% off for only $5.99. This is a precision platformer where you are a snail and you are making your way through these levels, and there's this sort of sadistic AI who is teasing you and mocking you the whole way along. It goes a bit deeper than that. It kind of, it's one of those games where it seems on the surface like it's just a little precision platformer, but the further and further you go, you kind of learn more about what's going on behind the scenes, and it kind of opens up a lot more. If you don't want to take my word for it, though, check out the Steam version, the reviews for it. It's got about 2,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews. Definitely a great game for fans of the precision platformer genre. Now we have a very rare deal. Eagle Island Twist, it's at its lowest price ever, 50% off for only $6.49. This has gone a solid 2 years since its last sale. This is a really cool 16-bit platformer. Actually, when this game first came out, it was a 16-bit roguelike platformer, and then they sort of retooled the game and they added a standard level-based campaign also, so you actually get both campaigns in the game. So it's a pretty good amount of game for what you get. Pretty solidly reviewed, definitely a gorgeous looking pixel art aesthetic. Plus you get a little owl buddy and you can throw him, so it doesn't get much better than that. And actually from the exact same publisher, we have the Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe at its lowest price ever, 50% off for $7.49. This is in the same category of being really rare. It's also been 2 years since this has gone on sale. Now, this is definitely going to be for fans of the Angry Video Game series. I think you'll get a real big kick out of it if you are a fan. It's an old school 8 to 16-bit style precision platformer, tough as nails. It's going to make you get angry a lot, and that's kind of the point. But if you like those kind of games, you should definitely check out the Angry Video Game Nerd. Primal Light is hitting its lowest price ever, 50% off for $7.49. I got a chance to try this on a live stream a few months back. I was really pleased with what I had checked out. It is a very true 16-bit throwback style platformer. It's not doing anything crazy like roguelike stuff. It's just very much a purist level-by-level story campaign. Absolutely gorgeous pixel art. It's a dream to control. It really just feels great to play. Definitely worth $7.50. Definitely worth picking up at that price. Shakedown Hawaii is back on sale for 60% off, bringing it down to $7.99. So if you like Retro City Rampage and you want to try more of it, this is the sequel. This is the 16-bit sequel, Shakedown Hawaii. It's the same concept. It's GTA mixed with some top-down 16-bit aesthetics. Personally, I think even though this game didn't review as well as the first one, I think this game is actually quite a bit more superior. Maybe the novelty of the first game kind of wore off and people weren't quite as enthusiastic about this one, but I truly think that Shakedown Hawaii is significantly better than Retro City Rampage. Calawares Gunslinger, 60% off for only $7.99. This is by far one of my favorite single-player campaign first-person shooters on the Switch. I hesitate in recommending it because they did do a really super rock bottom price back in October. It just doesn't seem like they're going to go back to it, so I still want to give it its due. It's definitely, again, by far one of my favorite first-person shooters on the Switch. Just a really cool Western theme, a graphical style that really holds up well on the Switch. If you're looking for some nice punchy arcade shooting action, you're going to really enjoy this one. Flamekeeper, this game just came out. It is already at its lowest price ever. Obviously, its first sale, a significant 33% off, bringing it down to $7.99. I want to thank my users. They pointed this out to me in the comments of that live stream. So very impressive that they would go this deep for a sale, but apparently, there are certain games in Untold Games, the publisher's library. If you own them, it'll actually bring this game down to only $4.99. It's been really hard to track down exactly what games those are. I know that Golf Club Wasteland is one of them, but beyond that, you're just going to have to see if you've bought any of their games before if this discount shows up for you. But Flamekeeper is a really cool little beat-em-up action roguelike, but also mixed with some tower defense mechanics. You can check out my live stream if you want to see a little more in-depth look of it, but I really enjoyed it. I would have recommended it at full price, so $5 or $8 I think is a really solid deal. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is 50% off for only $9.99. I am no big Power Rangers fan, but I really am impressed by this fighting game. If you enjoy tournament fighters, but you're normally intimidated by them, this is a nice, slightly more simple one to get into. It's simplistic looking, which is good because that really helps it run a little bit better on the Switch. It's just sort of an easy breezy sort of tournament fighter to get into. Now, if you like what you see, you might want to consider getting the Super Edition, which is 15 bucks more, which I know is significantly more. That is also 50% off though. And I will tell you, there is a huge load of DLC that is all included with the Super Edition, including a DLC that adds in Ryu and Chun-Li from Street Fighter, which is really cool. Wrestling Empire is 50% off for only $9.99, matching its previous low. Okay, so this game, the critics did not care for it that much, but the user review scores are really high. I think this is one of those things where you got to go in knowing there's a little bit of jank, but if you are a fan of the old N64 wrestling games, you're just gonna adore this one. So like the old WCW versus NWO Revenge, which I played hours and hours and hours of, yeah, this is gonna give you more of that. So just understand it's a little bit unpolished, but if you like that kind of silly 64-bit looking wrestling fun, you're gonna love it. John Wick Hex is 50% off for only $9.99. Now, this is not its lowest price ever, but it's a solidly reviewed turn-based John Wick strategy game. I decided I felt like I should mention it because, of course, John Wick 4 is out or just about to be out. So I know there's probably a lot of people excited from that movie, and this would be a great way to sort of cap that off and enjoy some John Wick action for yourself. Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince, is 30% off, bringing it down to its lowest price ever. That is $10.50. If you love Legend of Zelda style clones, you're gonna really love Blossom Tales. The original one was a really solid clone of that sort of top-down old school Legend of Zelda game, and this one does just as well, if not better. You got a nice overworld, dungeons, items, and gear to acquire. It's all that kind of good stuff that you remember. Floppy Knights is hitting its lowest price ever, 40% off for only $11.99. If you like deck building card battler games and you like Advance Wars, this is a really cool little sublime combination of those two things. I enjoyed it in particular because the fact that it is a card deck building game, your choices are limited, which I guess some people might not like that, but when you're looking at a hand of cards, there's only so many things you can choose, so you don't get sort of stuck in that sort of analysis paralysis that you could with a more open-ended option. So I just feel like it makes a more light and breezy sort of Advance Wars style feeling game. So if you're normally intimidated by those sort of turn-based strategy games, I think that this is actually a good one to sort of ease you into it. The amazing Little Gator game is back on sale, matching its previous low, 30% off for only $13.99. This was such a cool little breakout hit right at the end of 2022. Essentially, you play as a gator who is trying to play an imaginary game, basically of Legend of Zelda, to get his sister interested in playing fun pretend games again with him. It's super charming, super relaxing, really sort of witty and funny. I just really enjoyed what I played of it, so I'm planning at some point in the future of sitting down and live streaming this game because I really want you guys to see more of it. But either way, if you need a game that's just going to wrap a big smile on your face, this is the one to get this week. Demon Turf is 40% off, bringing it down to its lowest price ever. That is $14.99. A really cool 3D platformer. But of course, it has a really unique sort of 2D art aesthetic sort of slapped on top of that. What I really enjoy about the Demon Turf game is that it allows you to literally place checkpoints anywhere. So if you're getting frustrated, you can always make sure you got a checkpoint right at that area so you don't have to keep traversing the same area over and over again. A really nice sort of modern convenience feature that it would be kind of nice if other games included that. This is actually a pretty big game. You got about a solid 20 to 30 hours if you want to gobble it all up. But they actually made a little sort of secondary side game called Demon Turf Neon Splash, which is sort of the same thing. And it is also at its lowest price ever, a rock bottom $1.99. It's normally only $5, so it's a little sort of side adventure in the same universe. Takes the same sort of concept, but as you can see, it throws a massive splash of vibrant paint all over the world. So if you're not sure if you want to pick up the full game, this would be a great way to just sort of dip your toes in and see if you really enjoy this platformer. RPG Time, The Legend of Wright, is 47% off, bringing it down to $15.99. That is by far its lowest price ever. Now, this is a wildly unique RPG game. As you can see watching the footage right now, it is all taking place inside this character's book, and he is playing out this RPG for his friend. So it has a really cool arts and crafts aesthetic to it, but that's not the only place where the variety ends. There's actually a lot of little unique mini games, so it's not just strictly an RPG. So if you like a game that has constantly lots of cool little surprises, you would definitely enjoy RPG time. A Space for the Unbound is 20% off for only $15.99. This is a game that sort of dropped, it felt like out of nowhere, but it got really amazing reviews. Right now it sits at an 85 on Metacritic for both the user and the critic scores. But basically this is a coming of age story about these kids in 1990s Indonesia. They are facing what appears to be some sort of apocalypse that's coming in, but you'll actually be diving into people's minds, sort of Inception style. But the game just has a really, truly gorgeous art aesthetic, an amazing soundtrack, and of course, a great story to follow along. Next, we have Anno Mutazione, which is 30% off. That is bringing it down to by far its lowest price ever of only $17.49. This is a massive hidden gem from last year. This is a sort of cyberpunk game where it actually blends 2D and 3D gameplay elements. So you'll be doing a lot of 3D exploring in different cities and towns, but then when the actual action starts, it's a sort of 2D action platformer beat 'em up style gameplay. It does have RPG elements, so there's all kinds of great leveling up and whatnot. Just super underrated, completely flew under the radar. Definitely one that even if you're not going to pick it up, definitely put it on your wish list. It's absolutely worth every penny. The Oregon Trail is back on sale again, 40% off, bringing it down to $17.99. That is matching its previous low. I tried this out on a live stream. I was really surprised. It's very relaxing. It definitely invokes the memory of that old Oregon Trail, but I think it smooths out a lot of the rough edges, makes it modernized just enough so that it's not truly frustrating. It actually plays out like a roguelike now, and you actually get checkpoints. So whenever you make it to a new town, if you die after that town, you can restart from that town. So you don't have to do the entire run from beginning to end every time. So it definitely has a bit more of a forgiving element, definitely has a more relaxing feel. And I absolutely adore the art aesthetic. I love the sort of 2D pixel art characters, but with realistic, beautiful vegetation all around you. And finally, we have Power Wash Simulator. Its first ever sale, 20% off, bringing it down to 20 bucks. It's normally 25. I know it's not a huge discount, but people seem to absolutely adore this game. I've seen people play it on stream and whatnot. It's kind of goofy, but it's exactly what it sounds like. You are going to be power washing different environments and objects. It's got that super strange sort of cathartic feel to the meticulous nature of it. Obviously, you get to see all this stuff that's dirty, and you're slowly but surely cleaning it all off. It's always hard to explain why something like this is so satisfying, so you just got to try it out for yourself, or maybe check out some gameplay of it so you can kind of get a better idea of what makes it so appealing. All right, all you tricksters, I really hope you enjoyed this week's eShop Deals video. Let me know down in the comments below if you're thinking of picking any of these games up. Subscribe if you haven't already, of course, and until next time, I hope you have great gaming. Bye-bye.